All right, I decided to check out another Harbor Freight on our way back to Montana to see what the stock's like. A lot of people responded in the last video. We'll talk about that later, but let's get in there and see what's going on. Wow, if your store has this, the turnstile here, your store has either new or has been converted to the new layout that we showed about a year or two ago. That is really cool to see here, and I'll explain why later. But that said, also I'm recording in voiceover again because of the music in the store. Don't want that copyright strike. Anyway, what we're seeing here is, we walk in, we got tons of stuff right here. Right up front, there's the G2 ratchets. Now remember, this is Idaho Falls, guys. This is not some big city. This is not a main superstore or anything like that. And they've got the G2, ratchets and whatnot right there, breaker bars and whatnot. We got the Predators up front. And let's see about the Hercules. Do we have Hercules stock? Well, first thing we see is no cards in place because, of course, this is in Vegas. But look there, all the way down the aisle. Look at that, shelf on shelf on shelf full of items. This is a complete 180 from the store that we showed before. This place has everything in stock. It is a beautiful looking store. Look at these displays, man. They got everything out there, all nice, samples up top. You got full boxes down below. Of course, all the accessories and the consumables up top, all those pegs fully stocked. There's, every once in a while, there's an empty shelf. There's an empty spot there. Oh, look, there's one down there. Oh, I wonder what's missing down there. Anyway, the point is, if you go through the store, and I got to tell you, I'm super jealous. I got a nice store up in Montana near us over in Bozeman. Super nice people there, but look at the wall of stock here. Everything is super easy to find. It's all well laid out. You got all the Apache cases right there. We got more down here. I just love the layout on this new floor design. We showed this. They test drove it down in SoCal, and I'm glad to see this rolling out for the rest of the country. I hope they make it up here to Bozeman here soon. I don't know. It may have some sort of dependency on the physical size of the store. I can't see some of the older shoebox kind of stores getting this treatment. But again, if we go through, here's this one. This is where we saw the first big, empty spots here was with the Icon wrenches and whatnot. And look at this. Oh man, all those pegs completely filled. Even the bottom shelf has got stock. The Pittsburgh, we saw a bunch of missing Pittsburgh. It was barren. It was a wasteland. And here, other than a few pegs right here, all seeming to be the same item. Must have been a sale on these bad boys here, the adjustables there. But everything else, or maybe they're rolling out with a new upgrade. Maybe we could see that in the Pittsburgh line. I know I'd be happy to see it. But man, the Icon, and I got to tell you, Icon, some of the best bang for the buck tool truck alternative out there. But you guys know it, my absolute favorite, I think just blows it out of the park when it comes to value, has got to be these Quinn socket sets. And when they go on sale, when they have the big sale on these, that is just stock them up all right now. I think even if you're a pro, it's worth to get those because they do such a great job, and they're so inexpensive when they're on sale. But let's keep going. And I sound excited because this store, it's just a cool store to walk through and seeing all the stock and everything they have. It's just, it's nice to see this compared to what I saw before. There's been a lot of rumors flying around, a lot of people, blaming, I don't want to get into politics here, but they're blaming Trump for these tariffs. And I don't care what side of the fence you are. Looking at this, again, most of these made in Taiwan. And right now, the tariff on Taiwan, I think, is 10%. Somebody was saying they claimed it was 32. I think it's supposed to go up to 32 in July if they don't find a trade deal before then, but they're working on it. Right now, it's only 10%, and that's what it was before. It's not a big deal. There's a lot of stuff here from other countries as well, and a lot of stuff from China, and there's all the Taiwanese stuff. It's right there on the shelves, man. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry if it ruins your narrative. Look at that. Boxes and boxes of wet dry vacs. And let's talk about the jacks, because Harbor Freight, they just kill it when it comes to floor jacks. Everyone knows it. Nobody can quite compete with Harbor Freight when it comes to the floor jacks. And they got it all in stock. And if you're towing this year, they got all the towing gear you need. Tons of great stuff. How about off-road? You're doing the overlanding off-road. We got the winches over there. Winch, I don't know. Whichever one brings me the beer, that's the one I want. I joke, I kid. I don't even drink anymore, folks. And then we got the jack stands. Of course, we talked about the jack stands recently. Lots of great stuff in stock. Up front, how about this? They got the pods with all the discount items here. There's the old school lights. Remember those? Those are cool. Everyone likes those lights. These right here, don't sleep on these things. I know they're weird shaped and stuff, kind of gimmicky with the flashlight. They put out a ton of light when you have the batteries in them, apparently. Those things are great to put inside cabinets and stuff like that. And how about this? Up front, more Hercules stuff. Man, just tons and tons of stock. There you can see it. We're traveling with the dogs. That's Bear. Bella's back there as well. Anyway, that store, pristine and stocked. Oh my gosh. Stocked wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling, tons of stuff. Now, I did manage to snag Chris, the manager, or at least one of the managers there. Nicest guy. Just super nice. And I gotta say, keeps a great store. It's one of the cleanest stores I've seen yet in checking out all the stores that we've looked at. Anyway, that said, he said they were down about 2% prior to the recent restock. And also, those of you who've been fans of the channel for a long time, you might recognize that storefront. We've done a walkthrough on this store before. That was years ago. But last year, they did a refresh. If you go and see my video on Harbor Freight's big changes from, was it last year, year before? They got this new store design. Well, the Idaho Falls store's got it, and it is nice. It's got the whole queue system up front. I didn't show any of that because actually the store was packed. Tons of people in this store. It was insane. And it's funny because the store down in Vegas was darn near empty, but so were the shelves. And a lot of people commented in the last video saying, you know, my store's got tons of stuff. I've never had these problems. I think it's just a vocal minority of people who are dealing with stores that either for some reason don't get a lot of stock, or as some people are suggesting, just sell through the stock fast. People come in, there's a sale, they buy everything out, then they got to wait for the next shipment. I think that's more of what we're saying because people are, you know, trying to make that comment. They're trying to push this narrative that it's the tariffs that are causing this. And as I said, a lot of that stuff in that store, like all the Icon stuff, all the upper end hand tools and stuff, those are all from Taiwan, and a lot of the cabinets and stuff like that, they've all shifted production out of China. I'm not seeing a compelling story here. You can try and push it if you want, but the facts aren't matching up. So I think the myth on this is busted. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Anyway, if you like what we're doing here, if you like us checking out these stores and going through and checking the facts for you, you know what? See if you can give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. Maybe even consider subscribing. Anyway, till next time, you all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.